Hey, this is Mr. Morrison, and today we're going to talk about congruence. And what do you know? These two guys are congruent, just like all of these. Oh, look how cute! Look how cute! Look how cute! These little babies are all congruent, just like these old ladies are all congruent. Not as cute as the babies, but still congruent. And a double whammy of congruentness, if that is a word, would be twins marrying twins. What's the chances of that happening? But just like people can have a twin, shapes can have a twin. So these triangles, maybe not as cute as these babies, or these two kids, or these old ladies, but these are twins in their own right. So these two shapes we would say are congruent to each other, but we would have to write a congruency statement to prove it. So to do that, we would use a congruent symbol in the middle, which looks like an equal sign that went through an earthquake, and then you pick any side on the left. So I'm going to pick, I can pick that one. Let's pick Q first. So Q is right here at 100 degrees, and what matches it or corresponds on the other triangle would be T, because that is also 100 degrees. So Q is first here, so T would have to be first over here. The next one I would probably do would be R. And if you notice, R is out. Follow the 5 line out. So follow the 5 line out here, the one that's 5 in length. V. So R and V correspond to each other. Then the last one in this shape would be P. And the last one here would be S. Notice it doesn't necessarily go alphabetical. It goes corresponding. You can flip these up, but if these flipped, these would also have to flip to match. So you can see that the Q and the T match up, and the R and the V because they correspond, and then last but not least the V and the S. So you can have it in any order as long as the other letter that corresponds to it follows it. And since these are a triangular shape, you should say the word triangle or put a triangle symbol in front of them. So triangle QRP is congruent to triangle TVS. So that's how you write the congruency statement. But it's going to get more complicated than that, because these twins are kind of backwards from each other. Kind of backwards. One's upside down, and one is flipped left to right. So shapes are also going to do that same thing to you. So you have to look and see what really matches. So in here, we would still start off with the triangle symbol, because they're both triangles. The congruency symbol, another triangle. So we're going to pick triangle A in this one. So point A on this left one, you can see it's in between the 1 tick mark and 3 tick marks. So what's between 1 and 3 here would be X. So the A here matches the X here. These two match up. Then I'll just go this way with the B. B is between 2 and 3 tick marks, which the Y is. Then the last one have to be C and Z. So they correspond to each other. But I used the tick marks to figure out which was where, because it was kind of confusing to me when they were spun around like that. So it could get more confusing. There'll also be times where they tell you that they are congruent and you have to find a missing piece. Like it might say, what does this X equal? So X equals, well, X is at the F angle. What matches the F angle? F and P are first, so they have to match. So X and 40 would be congruent to each other. Then Y, well, Y down here goes with the J angle, J second, R second, so these would have to match. So Y would end up being 105 degrees. And as you can tell, it's going to get much, much more confusing, but you can still use that same principle. Like if you want to find what the R is, if we want to know how many degrees R was, we would look and say, okay, R is angle A up here is first, angle V is first, so V is down here, so the V and the A correspond to each other, they match, so these two are equal, so R would end up being that measure of 88 degrees. If you want to find what the N was, right here, N equals the S angle, S is here, so it matches the F, so F is 148 degrees. There is also at times going to be algebra involved. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. If you want to know what this x equals, you know that A and x equal each other. So 2x equals 30. So to solve for x, divide by 2, x equals 15. So it's more than just looking and saying, oh, that x is 30 and that's 30 because this is 2x. So you have to do a little bit of algebra in addition to it. We're going to talk more about this in class, but here is an example for you to try. So answer the questions on the Google form on the right. You have to figure out what y equals and what x equals. Make sure you use this congruency statement up here. I'll leave this up here for a second. If it goes by too quick, just rewind or hit pause. Good luck.